Hi, Barron Heights volunteers. If you are watching this video, you all are signed up to attend our 2021 retreat season. And so I'm Abby Rose, Executive Director, and I am so grateful for you all this year. I can just tell you our retreats are already full on the guest side. They are more than ready to have a break. And so thank you for making that possible for them. We're really excited. Obviously, we weren't able to host retreat season last year due to COVID and everything, but we are back and we've made some changes to kind of adjust to just people's um, feelings, health, and just this interesting season, just kind of as a transition year. And so, to make you all more comfortable, feel more equipped, I am going through the 2021 retreat process changes and reminders. So, hopefully, I answer some questions. If not, feel free to contact either me or Elena, who is our programming coordinator, and we'll be happy to help you. So, let me go ahead and get started. And yeah, we've adjusted, but the main things are the main things. Our mission is still the same, and that is simply to love and encourage families. And if you've been around Barron Heights before, or if this is your first time serving, we do this by providing free weekend retreats and community events for families who have children with physical or developmental disabilities. Our vision is to create more compassionate communities through families serving families with the love of Christ. Um, Led by the Holy Spirit to further the kingdom of God. So that's what we do. And even though it's going to look a little bit different, some processes, some changes, some jobs might look a little bit different, we're still doing this. Um, so service standards. This is something that has always been important and still will always be important. We want every guest who comes to Barron Heights to feel loved, accepted, welcomed, and safe. It's a laws is what it spells out. And then for volunteers, so this is you all. We want you all to feel like you can serve as a family together. We want to be as organized as possible and to make your job easier. Um, we want you to know that we so appreciate you. Honestly, this year more than ever before. And then lastly, that you're making a difference in the lives of others. Um, like I said, our retreat season for the guest side is completely full. We're starting a wait list and it is still May. I don't think that's ever happened before. So the need is greater than ever. And then if you've been around or if this is your first time ever, almost all of our events or retreats will include family, faith, fun, food. So that's just something that it's not necessarily standard, it's just an expectation. So, this is just a refresher. I know we have many new volunteers for some who are experienced. It's always a good reminder. If you have children who are serving, these are good reminders to kind of inform them. So let others go first. Serve by doing your jobs. That's setting a good example. Um, Share, play well with others, show grace. And for adults, it's pretty simple. Model behaviors for your children. They see you and they basically try to exhibit the same behaviors. Point out opportunities for your kids to serve others and focus on character traits, being respectful, being responsible, you know, putting others first rather than the actual accomplishment of completing a job. So, just like previously, here's some things that you all can do prior to your short-term mission trip as a family. Pray. You know, Honestly, we find that the week before the retreats tend to be really difficult. Satan's trying to attack, make these families not come because this is life-changing for these families. A lot of times, these families have not been to church in forever, especially with COVID. So definitely be praying prior to the retreat. Share your excitement, share with others. Um, we are always looking for new volunteers. And so the best way to, recruit is through word of mouth. And so you sharing your excitement with others gets other people excited and want to be involved. Read your Barron Heights communications. We send out emails basically 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, and 1 week out. So you'll be hearing from us. And so keep an eye on your emails. Additionally, in that email, you'll get a mission guide devotional. It'll kind of just walk you through a little bit about the retreat as well, safety and wellness kind of prep. I think there's even a little map of the facilities. So volunteers will arrive between 5 and 6 p.m. Central Time, and guests arrive between 6 and 7. We are still doing a welcome reception and an ice cream social at 8 because we want to kind of get introductions and just a little bit of icebreakers similar to last year. If possible, we might do that outside. And then what to bring, weather appropriate clothing and personal hygiene items. Traditionally, we have had our volunteer host families staying in the bunkhouse. This year, and I'll go through this a little bit later, they will actually be staying in a cabin. So you don't need to worry about sleeping bags, pillows, unless you have a favorite one, or sheets or anything like that. So that's good news for you. You get your own bathroom attached to your building. So we're excited about that and hope you enjoy the luxurious lodgings this year. So speaking of, this year we will have 2 guest families, and those 2 guest families will be staying in 2 of the cabins, and these will be dependent on family size. Same with host. One of those host families that typically stays in the bunkhouse will be staying in a 3rd cabin. So again, that's going to be rearranged based off the size of the families who are serving and attending as guests. There will be leader and potentially a caretaker, both depending on size of retreats. They will be staying in the new barn, bedroom 1 and bedroom 2. And then this year, some change that we're having is we will have an admin, a staff or board member. More than likely, it'll be me. So you might get to see me down there, but if not, it'll be another staff, board member, or even the founders, Joe and Tony Rose. And they will stay more than likely in the new barn basement. So this is kind of to reduce the size, reduce the pressure on some of those common spaces, and provide each family with their own individual bathroom. So hopefully that is helpful. And so let me go through the role of the admin and the office assistants that you're going to be receiving this year. So with there being an admin on site, it's going to ease some of the leader and caretaker responsibilities and making it easier, hopefully, for you all to serve. What this looks like is that admin will be down there to help retreat prep and help with closing, posting the rosters, job assignments, distributing volunteer gifts, and prepping the snack counter. They'll help with greetings and managing all the liability waivers, document collections, and additionally, there'll be a helping hand if needed. I know some of these retreats are going to be small. We are a little light on volunteers. So if you know of some family that has school-age children and you think they have a heart to serve, get them down there. We would love that. This is an amazing year for first-time volunteers, just because of that lack of pressure and a little bit smaller size, so it doesn't feel as overwhelming. Additionally, our office here is going to be helping the leaders manage comfort calls. We plan to assign jobs if requested by the leader, just to kind of help out. We know that this season is busier than ever now that kind of the world is opening back up, and we want to be here to help you along this journey to make this as easy as the process as ever. And additionally, if you've been to the camp before, then you probably know that the video that we make at the end of the retreat is probably one of the most challenging parts of volunteering. And we plan on doing that in-house this year. So there'll be some changes with that regarding how to get photos to us. But other than that, we will be making the video and sending it out the week afterwards to help them, relive their retreat memories. So this is the sample schedule, and it looks a little bit different than traditional. Friday night is basically the same. Saturday, we have creative time, which is the arts and crafts that we did last year. It's mainly painting a pot and getting to plant seeds. It's a very cute little activity. And then there's different activity times throughout the day. And this is specifically for the guest families to be able to kind of customize the weekends to fit their needs. So that first activity time might be splash pad time or archery, or maybe this year, because again, we are changing it up, they might have interest in going off site. We'll have some fishing poles if they want to go fishing, if they want to take a trip to the Amish markets nearby or go to the state park beach, they are more than welcome to. So these are kind of just different times to allow them to, really have the weekend that they need. And so everything else pretty much from 5 to 10 is the same with campfire, the family fun surprise activity, which is our Goliath challenge. Those are all the same. Sunday, again, it's breakfast, chapel, and kind of closing. And then there's a little bit of wrapping up before the guests leave. So I'm going to go into a little bit more description on what activity time is. It is, like I said, the way Barron Heights is going to allow guest families to customize the weekends. And so they will select the different activities that interest them, off-site or on-site. But this time really and it is a way to help fill the gaps of moms, dads, and parent time. And so if you've been to a retreat, this is a really impactful time for these families. And so I know that this may be challenging, but really the reason we're doing this is because of honestly, a shortage of volunteers and the different comfort levels of people with COVID. Some people might be more concerned than others or have different health concerns. And with moms, dads, and parent times, the kids are traditionally left with strictly the volunteers. So that way, depending on COVID comfortability, while these have been removed from the schedule, if the volunteers think that they have a good enough squad to manage, and if the guests are comfortable and the volunteers are comfortable, then we are willing for the leaders to call an audible and include this time in the weekend. But we don't want this to be an expectation of the guests or of the volunteers this year. Again, this is a transition year. We know this is impactful, but the thing that is going to be nice about this year is guest families for the first time ever will be able to come back at a future date in the next 3 years and hopefully experience a full retreat with everything included in the schedule. So while we'd love for this to happen at every retreat and have moms, dads, parent time, we know that more than likely isn't a possibility. So that is activity time, why we've included it. And we know that this will still be an amazing time, like I said, for the guest families to truly have the weekend that they need. And I know that God will work through those different activities and time to rest and even just a change of scenery, because this has been such a crazy season. So here's a list of different activities. We have this list available for volunteers and for guests. And honestly, there's even more that, if you think about it, feel free to share with them. Even Mammoth Cave and Lost River Cave aren't too far away. So if that's some experience that these families would like to try out, they're more than welcome to. So retreat menu, it has changed up a little bit, not too much, but let me go over those changes. So on Friday nights, we'll have chips and lemonade and water sitting out. No popcorn this year, mainly because we know that while it is delicious, hands tend to just go in and grab that. And so we're just going to try and remove that risk right there. Evening, we'll have ice cream social, and with breakfast, we'll do frozen breakfast sandwiches versus the bacon sausage biscuits. So those are the changes there. Lunch is going to be the same. Really, the changes in some of this is that while making the food or while scooping out ice cream, we will want our volunteers in that role to wear a mask just because, you don't know what's getting in the food. So we want to just do our best to be clean and healthy. And then finally, the only other change with the retreat menu is we are catering dinner from a cute little local restaurant called Esther's, and they will be providing meals. It'll be pretty similar to our traditional Saturday night dinner, but I think instead of um, chicken and burgers, it's going to be barbecue. So we'll have vegetable salad um, and rolls. So that'll be great. And then we'll have s'mores in the evening. So really, there's only a few job changes. We've removed several jobs that are not applicable in this season. And then the rest have changed. So here are some of those changes. AV prep. This is traditionally the one where they're making the videos, but this is now changing to uploading the photos to Dropbox, and that's it. They no longer need to create the video. These changes are mentioned in our volunteer job assignment guide, and I'll go over that a little bit later. Another change is the dinner supervisor and Grill King, no longer required as we will be catering dinner. Ice cream scoopers, lunch buddies, as I mentioned, will wear a mask while serving and prepping food. And then barn church. We have individual communion packets. They're not going to be showing the video in barn church. The leaders and caretakers may choose to lead a lesson if they see fit. However, they are also able to play a short lesson online. Or if volunteers are musically gifted, they can lead live music, otherwise play 2 and 3 worship songs from YouTube. So we know it's kind of a weird season, like we said, and we're just going to do our best. Traditionally, barn church, you take a theme from the weekend and, customize that to a short, simple message for these families. But, with some of these weekends being a little bit more hands off, that message might not come as easily. So we want this to be as simple as possible. And so we'll, if it is a video, that is a-okay. We know that God will work through that. And the worship, we love musically talented people. And even if you're not and just want to lead some songs with different hand movements, that's fun too. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we have our job assignment guide and our leader caretaker guide. This is up to date with the different job changes and COVID guidance. And so these operational binders are down at the camp now. There'll be 4 binders, 1 host copy, or 2 host copies, a caretaker copy, and a leader copy. The leader and caretaker copy include the information from the leader caretaker guide. So if that's applicable to you, make sure you grab that one versus the host copies. And these are all listed in alphabetical order, similar to 2 years ago. And they have the little tab so that you can hopefully find it easier. Other than that, our office hours in the community center are 9 to 3, Monday through Thursday, and we work remotely on Fridays. More than likely, you can catch us any time of day, but at least with our office phone number, these are the hours we'll be staffed. And so we'll have a couple interns this summer that we're excited about, so you might be hearing from them. But other than that, feel free to contact me or Elena regarding information regarding retreats. And we're so thankful to have you all here. If you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We love you, and